Next, we will have a discourse on Hindu philosophy and culture by Sri Rajan Ramanujan, followed by Sri Santosh Prabhu.
Good evening, everyone. Namaste. First off, I'd like to thank all the organizers for inviting me to talk on Hinduism. It's a big task. I'll try to do my best. The original name of Hinduism is Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma means the eternal way of living. The basic instruction is Satyam Vada Dharmam Char, means always speak the truth and always live ethically and morally. This way of living is the basic requirement to attain the ultimate objective of human life, ultimate purpose of human life, which is moksha or self-realization. The Upanishads teach us that our true nature is happiness. However, from our everyday experience, we find that we are unhappy for different reasons like financial problems, relationship issues, and health problems, and so on. If, as the Upanishads say, our true nature is happiness, why are we unhappy? For this, we need to understand the karma theory. All of us perform good actions and bad actions. The result of good actions is punyam, and the result of bad actions is papam. To get a human birth, one has to have an equal amount of good karmas and bad karmas. When we experience happiness, we are reaping the benefits of our good karmas. And when we are unhappy, it is because of the effects of our bad karmas. What this means is every human being is responsible for this happiness or unhappiness. If a person knows this, then he thinks, since the bad karmas are the reasons for my unhappiness, I should get rid of all my bad karmas. Then he asks the question, how do I get rid of my bad karmas? Only knowledge of our true nature can get rid of all our karmas. For attaining this knowledge, our mind has to be purified. Unfortunately, our mind is filled with impurities. These impurities have to be removed. By developing certain good qualities, we will be able to get rid of these impurities. These qualities, which we need to develop, are discussed in detail in chapter 13 and 16 of the Bhagavad Gita. I'll mention a few of them here. Ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence in thought, word, and deed. It's not just physical violence. You should even not think about hurting others. Vairagyam. Vairagyam means dispassion or controlling of desires. Anahankara. Not identifying ourselves with our bodies. Generally, when we ask some person, who are you? The person will generally say, I am so and so, my name is this, my age is this, and so on. But our scriptures say that we are not our body. We are consciousness, or Atma as we call it. Arjava. Arjava means alignment of thought, word, and deed. Whatever we think, we should say. Whatever we say, we should act accordingly. That is arjava. There should be an alignment between our thought, word, and deed. Acharya Pasam. Service to the teacher who teaches the meanings of the scriptures to us. Shanti. Shanti means even when there is the reason to get agitated or angry, and the reason is right in front of us, even then we should control ourselves and not get angry. This will help keep our mind under control. Shaucham. Shaucham means cleanliness. Cleanliness means both internal cleanliness and external cleanliness. External cleanliness is cleaning the body, which is easily done. But internal cleanliness is cleansing of the mind. Only when we provide the mind with good things and do not hear or see bad events or things, the mind will be clear. Otherwise, the mind will get affected by it. It will be disturbed. A disturbed mind is not conducive to attaining moksha. Stairyam. Stairyam means unshakable faith in the scriptures, in the teachings of the scriptures. You should question your understanding of the scriptures, but not the scriptures itself. Atma Vinigraham, mind control, control of the mind. We already talked about it. One should also get rid of some undesirable qualities like anger, greed, jealousy, unjustified pride, arrogance, etc. When we do this, it purifies the mind, and the mind becomes capable of absorbing this knowledge. One should accept, once knowledge of our true nature is attained, all karmas, both good and bad, are burnt to ashes, and one becomes a self-realized person or jnani. Whatever one does, one should do that as an offering to God, and whatever results one gets out of those actions, one should accept it as a prasadam. This kind of attitude is called Ishvara Prasada Buddhi and Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. If a karma is done as an offering to God without expecting the fruits of the actions, then that karma becomes karma yoga, and no undesirable effect will accrue. When the result of the karma is accepted as prasadam, the mind will not be affected even if the result is not what one expected. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us about karma yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga, and jnana yoga. Karma yoga is what we just saw. Dhyana yoga is an exercise undertaken to control the mind. And bhakti yoga is Ishvara Upasana, worship of Ishvara, like when you go to the temple and offer prayers and bhajans and all that. And jnana yoga consists of 3 steps. It is Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. Shravanam means listening to the words of the teacher who is explaining the meaning of the scriptures attentively and with utmost faith. Mananam means contemplating and analyzing the doubts in one's mind and clearing all the doubts in one's mind. Nididhyasana means becoming the very embodiment of this knowledge, so that you are just a walking body which is full of this knowledge. You become an example to others about this knowledge. These are all steps taken for self-realization. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan tells Arjuna in the 18th chapter not to be disappointed if he is not able to do all these things. If you are not able to do all these things, don't worry. Just surrender to me. That is Sharanagati. If you surrender to me, I will make sure that all your papa karmas are removed. This is the famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. For Hindus, the Vedas are the source of knowledge. There are 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. The Vedas are divided into two sections. The first section is called the Karma Kanda, and the second section is called the Jnana Kanda or Vedanta. The first section deals with rituals. So people who are not interested in moksha, for them to gain legitimately all the material benefits of life, this section is useful. The rituals are conducted according to the instructions in this section. The Jnana Kanda section of the Vedas, or where we learn about our true nature. Our true nature is same as that of God. Unbelievable, but it's true. So to realize this, it's not enough just to have theoretical knowledge of this knowledge. If you need to realize it yourself. In order to realize it yourself, you have to go through all these steps like Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. And you have to have develop all those good qualities which I mentioned earlier. In general, there is a feeling that in Hinduism, there are millions of gods, but this is absolutely wrong. Please listen carefully. This is a problem with the translation of the word Devatas in Sanskritam into English as gods. Devatas are not gods. They are advanced spiritual beings who have been given certain responsibilities by God to administer and govern this universe. But the rituals we perform are addressed to these Devatas because they are empowered to give us benefits. Sanatana Dharma, or Hinduism, is the oldest religion of the world. It has been around for millions of years, not just 5,000 or 6,000 years. And this is confirmed by Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Hinduism teaches us that God is everywhere. In fact, there is only God everywhere. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Hinduism preaches and practices non-violence. Hinduism respects all forms of life. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Hinduism teaches us that we all belong to one family. Vasudeva Kudumbakam. Hinduism teaches us that we are Atma and not the body. And the nature of Atma and Paramatma are one and the same. That is Jiva Brahma Aika. The only purpose of this birth is to become one with God. This is a brief outline of Hinduism on Hindu philosophy. I'll now finish off by chanting the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Atha Panchadashodhyayah Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhva Moolamadashakam Ashvattam Prahuravyayam Chandam Sriyasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavit Adashodhvam Prasutastasya Shakha Guna Pravriddha Vishaya Pravala Adasya Mulanyanu Santatani Karmanubandhini Manushya Loke Narupamasyeha Tatopalabhyate Nanto na chadirna cha sampratishta Ashvattamenam suviruda moolam Asankashastrena dridena chitva Tatah padam tatparimanyitavyam Yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha Tameva chadyam purusham prapadyet Yatah pravritti prasuta purani Nirmana mohajita sangadosha Adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama Dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha samjnai Gacchantya mudha padamavyayam tat न तत्पासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चापुत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुष्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् घामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधी सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानम् अपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैः अहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृत् वेदविदेव च अहम् द्वामिमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमपुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्मात्क्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतत् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पंचदशोऽध्यायः। Thank you.
It was amazing chant, Maharaj. It was dhanyawad and it was really amazing. And after what Rajanji talked, I don't think I have anything to add basically. It was wonderful. But still, I have to talk, so I will share a few thoughts. But before I start, I would like to ask a simple question to all of you. Just think about it. When you hear the word Hindu, three things that comes to your mind. Anyone can just say whatever comes to your mind when you hear the word Hindu. Spirituality. कोई भी बता सकते हैं?
कृष्णा।
हाँ जी?
कृष्णा।
कृष्णा, कृष्णा, okay. Yeah.
Peace.
Traditions.
Peace.
Peace. Way of life. Togetherness.
Oldest civilization.
Oldest living civilization.
Moksha.
Moksha.
We belong to Hindustan.
Haji?
We belong to Hindustan.
We belong to Hindustan. Yes. Anything else? Wonderful. Amazing. So, just start with what it happened just a couple of days ago. It was mentioned, I'm based in Montreal. So one of my Iranian friend, he runs a movie club. So what they do, so they watch different international movies and have a discussion on that. So every week they select one movie. So in general casual conversation, so he asked me, Santosh, I have a question. He said, India, Hindu civilization has given so many philosophers, thinkers, so much contribution to the whole humanity. How come Bollywood movies are so dumb? That was what he told me. So I had to explain. See, Bollywood doesn't define the whole of Bharat, the whole of India and Hindu civilization. It is not exactly, as it is represented. It represents a part of it. So I had to explain. So what is it then? What is it this word, the Sanatana Dharma which Rajanji mentioned, the Hindu which is there? Another incident, historic incident I will mention, and maybe you can make out by yourself. What is it that to be a Hindu? How we basically view the world. So there are two people who climbed the Mount Everest for the first time. You all know about them, right? The two people. One was Edmund Hillary, and another was Nepali Hindu, Tem Singh, right? Zarpal Tem Singh and Edmund Hillary. So both of them, when they reached the top of the Mount Everest, so Edmund Hillary, he said, how beautiful it is. That's what he told. How beautiful it is. And Tem Singh, who was from Nepal, who was a Hindu, he said, how holy it is. How holy it is. So both of them had the same experience of climbing up. Were together. They were looking at the same thing. But one said how beautiful it is, and the Hindu world, the point of view was how holy it is. Now this holistic view of the whole world is what Hindutva is. This holistic worldview, which thinks about the total humanity and human being in totality. That's why all those places, if you see whether it is Himalayas, all those places on the top of mountains, our ancestors have built mandirs and ashrams. So we have not built resorts over there. It was not our tradition. So that kind of worldview is there. Akhil Nair mentioned one thing. He mentioned about the collective consciousness. Hindutva is nothing but the collective consciousness of the Hindu society, of the personality, the collective personality of the Hindu society. That is Hindutva. And that explains a lot of things. When Swamiji came, there is a former Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, he mentioned one thing. He said that the relationship between Canada and India, when did it start? And now we are celebrating Hindu Heritage Month for the first time in Canada. So we should remember that. He said it started when Swami Vivekananda came to Vancouver. If you know the history, actually he landed in Vancouver. When he came for the Chicago address, Swami Vivekananda landed in Vancouver. He took a train from Vancouver to Chicago and he stayed one night in Winnipeg. There is a place there where Swamiji stayed for one night in Winnipeg. So that's when the relationship between Bharat and Canada started. And he said, there is a very beautiful book written on Swamiji. It is The Gift Unopened. So the author says that Swami Vivekananda had a gift for the North America as well as for the whole humanity when he came, but that gift is still unopened. Now it is the responsibility of our Hindu society, to basically open that gift for the whole humanity. And that is this worldview of looking at everyone as one. That's why we say Namaste, because we have not differentiated between believers and non-believers. We say that the whole creation is nothing but the manifestation of the Creator. It's a very unique concept of the creation by the Hindu society, by the Hindu civilization, which talks about this, which doesn't differentiate between the Creator and the creation. Creation is nothing but the manifestation of the Creator. That's why the divinity which is there in everything and everyone, what Rajanji mentioned, that's why we say Namaste. I bow down to the divinity within you. If you need to explain in simple words what exactly we stand for, we say Namaste. That's how we can explain to the people here also. That's what the Hindu society stands for. Because we see divinity in everything. In everything and everyone. And this concept of dharma and karma, which is a unique contribution. And this is how the world views at us. Once, when I was in my college days, when I visited Mexico, we went to a small village. And have you seen this tuna fruit, which actually grows over the cactus? There is this fruit called tuna fruit. So there was a person who was selling that tuna fruit. So we stopped just to buy the fruit. And my friend, he mentioned to the person who was selling it that this person is from India. And as soon as he heard that, he said, we owe a lot to Hindus. I will not take money from you. Now, this is a fruit seller in a small village in Mexico, his thought process about the Hindu society. In Guatemala, they have a saying which says that India is the lotus of the whole world. Bharat loto de mundo, that's what they say in Spanish. So this concept of dharma and karma, which is this worldview, for example, the whole humanity. It is not just a slogan for us. This was mentioned, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family. It is not just mere slogan for Hindu society. We have actually shown that with respect to the human beings all over the world. There has been, whenever the people who were persecuted, they were accepted in Bharat and they came to Bharat as refugees and became part of our society. Whether it was the Parsi society who were persecuted by the Arab invasions, whether it was the Tibetan society, and whether it was the Syrian Christians who came because of the persecution of the Roman Empire. All of them were accepted because we have seen humanity as a whole and as a one, not as a separate entities. For us, as Rajanji mentioned, God is everywhere and God is one. It's manifested everywhere. Ekam Sat Vipraha Bodha Vadanti. Truth is one. Sages call it by different names. It is not just mere slogan for us. When we go to a Vishnu temple, Vishnu may be the main deity, but in the Pradakshina you have everyone. Ganesha is there, Shiva is there, everyone will be there. In the Shiva temple, Shiva may be the main deity, but all are there. So there is no conflict there. Because we say that there are different pathways, there are different ways of reaching that ultimate reality, and there is no my way or highway. So this experiential thing is Hindutva. It is manifested even in our worldview towards the nature. For us, the water bodies is represented by Ganga, and Ganga is Mata for us. The whole plant kingdom is symbolized by Tulsi, and Tulsi is Mata for us. The whole animal kingdom is symbolized by Go Mata, the cow, and that is mother for us. Because we have seen in that way of gratitude and that divinity in the nature. And the whole world is symbolized by Bharat Mata to us, all of us. So this is what a historic role as a Hindu society we have to play here in Canada. Because we have a lot to contribute. We have contributed immensely. The exhibitions, the posters, please take some time out and go through the posters. It actually explains about a lot of things, the Hindu contribution to the whole world. And it is not just this one. We have to contribute more to the humanity, this worldview of looking at everything as divine. This is our contribution, and this is the role, the historic role as a Hindu society that we need to play. And we also need to remember our history. In spite of continuous foreign invasions, we are still here. Why? There must be some reason to that. There was a time when the whole of Bharat was under the occupation of the foreign rule. Thousands of mandirs were destroyed. But the invaders couldn't destroy the temples within the Hindu homes. So this decentralized, the hybrid society, the way in which we function, maybe because of that we survived. And we survived for a reason that we have to contribute to this world in a way that will benefit the whole